For latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
CBIC has issued policy and guidelines for setting up of average stations, ICDs and CFSs. Circular 50 of 2020 dated 5th of November gives all the details. It is a document which is very exhaustive and there is a lot of clarity and transparency which has been built into it. The reasons for bringing out this document are the various facilitation measures taken by Indian Customs and the ever-growing need of the exporters and the importers on speed and urgency of moving the cargoes through customs either on import cycle or export cycle. RMS, DPD, DPE, faceless, so many new things have come up which necessitated the bringing out of such a document. We have also seen that the basic infrastructure in the country has also undergone a sea change. We have good roads, we have a good connectivity, we have a great railway connectivity coming up, it's already very good. So all of this put together brought out the need for coming out with a new policy document, and with the policy there was a need to have clear guidelines as to who can set up, where can it be set up, in how much space it has to be set up, and what would be the attached requirements for setting up one of such infrastructure facilities. The present position is that when one uses the word CFS and one talks about it within 50 or 60 kilometers of the port, there is a huge concentration of such facilities in western and southern India. When one uses the word ICDs, there is a concentration of ICDs in northern India. It is also seen that there isn't a very uniform distribution of the work at all these facilities. It is estimated that around 25% of the ICDs cater to around 83% of the volume in terms of number of shipments, that is number of documents, shipping bill or bill of entry, that are presently being catered to. The new policy framework can be divided into 4 identifiable points. The first is to take into account what is available, what is required, and what is the expected growth across the country so as to bring about a uniformity for every Indian manufacturer trader who deals in EXIM cargo. 2. It addresses the hard and soft regulations and infrastructure that need to be monitored by the regulatory agencies for all the ICD, CFS and AFS. 3. To ensure a sustainability, it talks about standard designs, standard sizes and set processes to bring about a uniformity which would automatically help in growing the sector. 4. It aims to lay down an institutional, administrative and regulatory process to bring about smooth operations at all the ICDs under the existing regulations, as well as smoothen and hasten the process of processing through customs, along with a good compliance of the applicable custom rules, regulations and laws. The policy further distinguishes between an ICD, a CFS and an AFS. An ICD has been clearly defined as an off-seaport or port facility having such fixed installations or otherwise equipment, machinery, etc., for providing services for handling, clearance of laden import and export containers, warehousing, temporary admissions, re-export, etc. under custom control and with storage facility for customs bonded or non-bonded cargo. It says further that an ICD has to be a self-contained customs station, like a port or an air cargo unit, where filing of customs manifests, bills of entries, shipping bills, and other declarations take place. In addition, assessment and all activities related to clearance of goods for home consumption, warehousing, temporary admissions, re-export, temporary storage for onward transit, and outright export, transshipment, etc. takes place. An ICD would have its own automated system with a separate station code like INTKD6, INSNF6, etc. allotted by the Ministry of Commerce and with an inbuilt capacity to enter examination reports and enable assessment of documents, processing of manifest, amendments, etc. A container freight station, an off-seaport or port facility having such fixed installations or otherwise equipment, machinery, etc. for providing services for handling, clearance of laden import and export containers, warehousing, temporary admissions, re-export, etc. under customs control and with storage facility for customs bonded or non-bonded cargo. Though by definition, ICD and CFS are similar and appear to be very same, it needs to be understood clearly that a CFS is notified under Section 8 of the Customs Act and an ICD is notified under Section 7 of the Customs Act, which means a CFS cannot have an independent existence and has to be linked with a customs station within the jurisdiction of the Commissioner of Customs or the Principal Commissioner of Customs, as the case is. It is an extension of the customs port, and the main objective of setting up a CFS is to decongest the port. A CFS may undertake only part of the processes of custom clearance, like handling of the cargoes, examination, etc. And the other activities like filing of manifest, assessments of shipping bills and bills of entries may happen at a place other than the CFS itself. An ICD can have multiple CFSs under the jurisdiction of the same Commissioner of Customs on a model which is very similar to the seaports. To compare very simply, Nhava Sheva has a PUB where a lot of documentation activities take place, and it has a large number of CFSs around where the actual physical movement and handling of the cargo takes place. An air freight station is an off-airport common user facility equipped with fixed installations of minimum requirements and offering services for handling and temporary storage of import and export cargoes. While the CFS handles maritime cargoes, the AFS will handle air cargo. It's interesting to note that in their explanation for the AFS, they have not used the word bonded warehouse. They have not used the word bonded cargo and non-bonded cargo. So it would mean that the AFS will work only for direct cargoes which need to be exported or imported out of the airport to which it has been attached. What would be the important installed activities in relation to an ICD, a CFS or an air freight station? 1. A rail siding. 2. A container yard. 3. A warehouse. 4. A gate complex. The document further lays out what are the functions and the benefits of the ICD, CFS and AFS. The primary function would remain handling of import and export cargo and all related regulatory and compliance processes attached with their movement, temporary imports and cargoes in transit. The functions would include segregation and desegregation. It would include LCL cargoes, consolidation and deconsolidation. And what would be the benefits as listed out by them? They would serve as a concentration point for long distance cargo movement and transit facility, making available custom clearance near the centers of production and consumption, free movement of cargo at the gateway ports, decongesting the ports, reducing the cost of transport, inventory, demurrage and pilferage, enabling intermodal transshipments and repositioning of containers for shipping lines.
End of part 1. Please see part 2 of this video on policy and guideline for setting up of ICDs, CFSs and AFSs.
Views expressed are personal.
You are requested to rely on Customs Circular 50/2020 dated 5th of November 2020 for specific actual details.